Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome to Total Warhammer 2. I'm not going to call it Total War Warhammer 2 because that is a ridiculous title for a game. Total Warhammer 2. That's what we're playing today. This might be just a one-off thing, honestly. But if you want to see more of it, obviously by the end of the video, let me know and we'll continue. However, just playing this today. I'm sorry I wasn't able to upload this yesterday. Unfortunately, yesterday I got home quite late and I had the biggest headache imaginable. Really kind of getting into migraine territory, to be honest with you. And no amount of painkillers I threw at it was actually getting rid of it anytime soon. So I just did not have the time or ability to record a video yesterday, so please forgive me. I'm going to do it today, just ahead of getting ready for the stream later this evening. So hopefully I can get this uploaded in time. If not, I guess it'll have to go up on Sunday alongside Skyrim, but we'll find out. Anyway, so, yes, we're going to play some Total Warhammer 2 today, which you've probably already seen plenty of on YouTube, so I apologise for that, but I really like this game. I love the Total War games in general, but I'd fallen a bit out of love with the series ever since Medieval 2, unfortunately. And against all my expectations, the Warhammer series of games they've done have actually been really good. I really, really enjoyed the first Total Warhammer. And Total Warhammer 2 I'm enjoying just as much, if not a little bit more so, because my favourite faction in all of Warhammer Fantasy is now in the game, and that faction is the Skaven. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start the campaign today. This may be a one-off video, but if you want to see me continue the campaign, obviously, like I said, let me know in the comments, and do all the like, subscribe bullshit as well, if you like. So, we're going to do a new campaign. I'm going to choose Eye of the Vortex. They added the Mortal Empires campaign recently, which allows you to play on the entire Warhammer Fantasy map with approximately 10 bajillion factions from both of the games all rolled into one. And it's immense, but to be honest with you, as cool as it is, it's too fucking big. It's just way too fucking big. The turn times are hilariously long, even at the start of the game, let alone when you get later on. And, you know, the AI starts doing more and more stuff. But nevertheless, it is kind of cool. I suppose that it's all there, and I probably will have a go at it at some point. But for now, I'm going to have a bash at the Eye of the Vortex campaign, which is a sort of a bit more story-based and a bit shorter. And to be totally honest with you, one of the reasons I want to do it is purely because it's got a cool cutscene to start with when you pick the Skaven. So, yeah.
I fight for the greater good.
So it's only got a few factions in it, obviously. Unlike the huge Mortal Empires one, but that's fine. No worries. And I'm going to be playing as the Skaven. Now, most people pick Queek Headtaker here. I'm not going to. He's got the little campaign introduction sort of tutorial thing built in for his campaign as well. Now, while Queek is cool, Queek is definitely cool,
the vengeance of Clan Pestilence.
I am going to be playing as Clan Pestilence with Lord Skrulk here. And the reason for that is most people seem to play Queek anyway, and so I thought if I was going to do yet another Skaven video for this game on YouTube, I thought I'd play as Lord Skrulk instead, and part of the reason for that is because I got into Warhammer Age of Sigmar not too long ago, and the army I collect for Age of Sigmar is, as it turns out, Skaven Pestilence, including Lord Skrulk here himself. So I have a bit of an affinity for the Pestilent branch of the Skaven. I think they're fantastic. I think they're awesome. They have absolutely no redeeming qualities. They are horrifying little beasties, and I love them because they're hilarious. So we're going to be playing as Skaven Pestilence, which is a bit different from the Clan Moors campaign you do with Queek. You get some different starting units, some really good starting units, actually really, really good starting units, and some different effects and things like that, and a different starting position on the map as well, I think. It's pretty good, it's pretty good. And we're going to have a go at this as Lord Skrulk continues to smash his plague sensor thing into the ground repeatedly. But yes, I'm going to be playing as Lord Skrulk, I think. It's a shame there's no Clan Scryer campaign available. There's only Moors and and Skrulk, unfortunately. I mean, more than Pestilens, unfortunately, because Pestilens and Scryer are my favourite Skaven clans. Scryer are the mad scientist Skaven who come up with the warp lightning cannons and the... well, it's a Gatling gun, but they call it the Rattling gun because of course they do. As well as warp flamethrowers and all sorts of crazy nonsense like that. And warp lock Jezzails, which are basically just sort of warp-powered muskets and just loads of silly shit like that, and the Doom Wheel, which you can see there. Only a few Scryer units are actually in the game, though, unfortunately. Most of them, a lot of the really cool ones are actually missing, which makes me really sad. But pretty much all the Pestilens ones are in here, though, which is nice. So you can actually play a kind of pure Pestilens army in this game, and it turns out they're pretty good, too, actually. The Plague Monks and Plague Claw catapults and the Plague Furnaces and stuff, they're all pretty good. So I'm looking forward to this. So, yeah. It's going to have a cool intro cutscene, which I'll let you sit through. It has some of the best, most hilarious voice acting I've seen in a game for quite some time. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and we'll get going.
Deep under the world, they chitter and plan. Watching, waiting. When they emerge, it is a nightmare vision. The Skaven, a ravenous horde of verminous ratmen. They gnaw at the roots of the world like an infected wound. They mean to rule over ruins, for such is the will of their god, the great horned rat. Only the island home of the High Elves has remained unscathed. And at its center is the Great Vortex. A swirling maelstrom that siphons chaos from the world. The Skaven covet its vast power with envious, beady red eyes. The twin-tailed comet is oft seen as an omen, but this time its wake has disturbed the winds of magic. In the secret halls of the Under-Empire, the Council of 13 has gathered. A time to scheme of opportunity.
I kill dwarf things in Pillar City. No! Clan wars go to Southlands. Hunt for Warpstone. Moors are puppet minion. Pestilence infest Lastria. Yes. But all Warpstone for council plan. Come, scribe slave. Work to do. Comet makes elf things weak. Council wants power of the vortex. Just as prophecy demands. So it's true. You read markings on the Black Pillar. Then you know we must find the Screaming One. Find out how to control the vortex. Oh yes, master. But a large tribute of Warpstone will that demon require if we summon him. Return to your assigned clan. Harvest Warpstone. Yes, most precipitous of masters. And flay yourself, your impertinence. Oh, it will be done, your worship.
There you go. The Grey Seer Volskrieg, with the Council's backing, has demanded that Lord Skrulk take Lustria for Clan Pestilens once more. As well as bringing the jungle continent under the sway of the Skaven, Skrulk must harvest Warpstone to power the rituals that will give him control of the Elf Things' faltering vortex. Elf Things, yes, we kill them all. Kill. I love this campaign. It was pretty much built for me, I feel like. It's like my favourite faction, the Skaven, versus the High Elves, who are my least favourite faction. It's beautiful. Going to be beautiful. Although we'll be starting off by fighting Lizardmen, I believe, with Pestilens. Queek, you start off fighting High Elves. With Pestilens, you start off fighting the Lizardmen instead, who I think are actually quite cool, actually. I like the Lizardmen. They're pretty badass. But I like Skaven a little bit more. So we'll be fighting them, but there'll be plenty of killing the elf things later on. It will be lovely. But for now, we're going to be wandering around in jungles for a bit, which is quite fun. Just as soon as this loads, anyway. Sometime today would be nice. I've got a stream to do later, you see, game. I'm a bit pressed for time. I've got a busy day today, actually. Because I've got to try and get this out of the way. I've got to put together a couple of models for the Warhammer game I'm doing tomorrow. And in addition to that, I've got the stream to do tonight. I need to get a mod installed. And I need to indeed get the game that seems to have won the poll I put up. That needs to be installed, and I need to install at least one mod for it. Then I'm going to do the stream, and then at some point later tonight, I've got to try and fit in about 1,700 words for the writing project I'm doing, because I'm having a bash at the National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, or whatever you want to call it. Since I got talked into doing that this month, or at least attempting it, and so far it's not gone terrifically well, but I'm giving it my best effort. So I'm going to approximately around midnight tonight sit down and try and bash out 1,700 words before I fall asleep. So that'll be fun. We'll see how we get on. I'm already like 2 days behind on it, to be honest with you. You're supposed to do... It's 50,000 words in a month, basically. If you're not familiar with it, it's... you basically, for November, you try and write a novel. 50,000 words, which equates to about 1,700 words a day on average. And so far, I've managed to write significantly less than 1,700 a day, I'm afraid to say. I've just been so busy. But nevertheless, we're going to give it a go anyway. While I sit here and talk about random nonsense that is completely unrelated to this game, while I wait for the loading screen to continue. Now, a more professional YouTuber would probably cut this out in editing and come back once the loading screen was done. But not I! Not I. I do things differently around here, you see.
Cease your chittering, adherents of decay, for Skrulk speaks.
Sorry.
By will of council, we set paw in Lustria to visit ruin upon the reptile things. Yes, yes. Twin-tailed comet brings great opportunity for pestilence. Great vortex of Althuan vulnerable. Much power to be had. Warpstone holds key. Much warpstone found in reptile thing cities. Kill Sotex creatures and steal their treasures. Skrulk will bind vortex to his will and spread sickness across the world. All will succumb to the plague monks.
Hooray! Also, it's scrolling off the end of the world because where my mouse cursor was placed. There you go. So here first, folks, I literally got told off in my own video by Skrulk. Gotta respect the Skrulk, man. Right, so...
Reptile things should not be here. Why have they resettled old festering ruins? What are they up to, Attack soon! Claim this place for Clan Pestilence.
Okay. So we got a little mission issued. We capture occupy a settlement belonging to the Southern Sentinels. Not necessarily this one, actually. It could be any of them. And we'll get a reward.
1,000 beer bars upon your pestilent lord. It seems the reptile things are basking in jungle temples that should belong to Clan Pestilence. While we make ready for the first ritual, I humbly suggest you attack, yes?
Learn more about settlements here. No, I'd rather not. I've played the first game. I understand how this works. Alright, it's probably going to ambush us with loads of tutorial stuff, though I don't know for sure.
I am the Plague Lord.
Yes, you are. So, there's Skrulk. With his little starting army, he's got Plague Monk Censer Bearers, he's got 3 units of Plague Monks, he's got 3 units of Skaven Slave Slingers, and he's got the wonderful Plague Claw Catapult, which is an excellent unit. These are pretty good too. The Censer Bearers are awesome, but the Plague Claw Catapult is excellent. That thing can kill so many dudes in the course of a battle. It's not even... It's kind of silly. Now, of course, the only problem is that... We can't build any more of those units except for the Skaven Slave Slingers. It will be a while before we can build any more as well, so I need to be very careful with these Plague Monks and the Plague Claw Catapult. Because I can't get them back if I get them destroyed, so I need to be sensible with my deployment of them, shall we say. But aside from that, it's not too bad. In fact, what we're going to do right now, we're not actually going to attack just yet. I'm going to move over here to the border. And I'm going to recruit a load of extra dudes just to beef up our army a little bit, have some expendable cannon fodder, and believe me, the Skaven are all about expendable cannon fodder, so... let's see. Some clan rat spears wouldn't be bad.
Lord Skrulk.
And some regular clan rats. That's our 3 recruitment slots for this turn. So next turn we'll have those added to our army, and that will be enough to take this town, I think, if we want to. I believe they might end up occupying this ruin and colonizing it next turn, though. So we might end up going for that instead. I don't know. Also, some dwarves over here. Yes, Spine of Sotek dwarves. We'll have to do something about them at some point as well. Oh yeah, they've got loads of settlements up here in these mountains. So yeah, we'll deal with them. We'll deal with them. I have a certain vendetta against the dwarves in Warhammer, in Total Warhammer, that is, because some of you who follow my Twitch channel may recall I did a quite lengthy orc campaign with Grimgor Ironhide, and the dwarfs in that campaign gave me all sorts of shit. They really did. They were so difficult to destroy. It took me forever, and they nearly destroyed me at one point, so... well, I'm generally speaking, a fan of dwarves in fantasy. They're one of my favourite fantasy races, generally speaking, and especially when it comes to the Tolkien side of things. In Warhammer, they annoy the pants off me, just because of that terrible experience I had with them when I was playing as the Greenskins, so... anyway, here's our town.
Realm wakens.
Which is not really a town, it's more like a bunch of burrows underneath the ruins of a town. And we can upgrade a few buildings. So let's upgrade the clan barracks. And here we will build a Taskmaster's platform because it gives us public order. And I have learned the hard way in this game that public order is more important than virtually everything else. If you have low public order, you can kiss goodbye to most of your campaign because it just becomes a nightmare. So while it would be nice to have some more recruitment buildings and buildings that produce wealth and things like that, public order is priority number 1 when it comes to building stuff in this game, generally speaking, I feel. Especially when things like corruption get involved. Because you'll notice that we have something called corruption. In our case, we have Skaven corruption because we're Skaven. Chaos factions have chaos corruption, the vampire factions have vampiric corruption, and everyone else has untainted. And when that starts to become a thing, I don't know what it's like in this campaign, but certainly in the first game's main campaign, you get about halfway through, and then chaos starts to become a problem. You get like hordes of chaos beastmen and chaos warriors starting to roam the map, and chaos corruption starts to increase literally everywhere, and it really, really just nukes your public order. So if something similar happens in this campaign, I want to be prepared for it, shall we say.
Lord Skrulk.
You'll get to spread some corruption yourself in a bit, Lord Skrulk. It's all good, mate. Just be patient. We need some more fodder so that your plague monks aren't all killed in the first battle. That's the idea, anyway. In fact, there's a little map mode here for Skaven Corruption, which there's not very much of. In fact, there's none of it yet. But that will change. Next turn we'll actually get plus 6% corruption here. So that's nice. Then we have this rights thing, which we can't do anything with yet, but we will eventually. Oh, the Scheme of Doom, for example. Good luck, Skaven, they're so good. Right, we'll just hit end turn. And see what the lizard men get up to. Aha! I knew it. They've occupied those ruins down there. So, what I think I'll do...
A vigil on expenditure must be maintained for your domain to prosper. Be sure to keep a close watch on
your finances. Yes, I get that enough in real life, mate. Trust me. So we're going to head back down this way for now. I'm going to deal with this first. If you want to see the whole map, by the way, this is what it looks like. The Warhammer Fantasy map is weird. The old school fantasy map, anyway. Age of Sigmar's changed everything up completely now, but the old school fantasy map's weird because it looks like the real world map, just with the addition of this big Atlantis sort of thing here in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. But you can see this looks like North America, this is South America, this is Africa, and so on and so forth. And Europe's over there. Very bizarre. I don't know much of the lore behind the old Warhammer Fantasy universe, to be honest with you, because I never played Warhammer Fantasy back in the day. I play Age of Sigmar now, but that's a slightly different thing. So, I believe if we were to go into March mode, Force March, we could move a bit further down here, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to use this opportunity to recruit a few more clan rats.
I am the Plague Lord.
And yes, those are dinosaurs, by the way. That's a thing. Yeah, I'm going to recruit a few more, and then we'll go take this place next turn. Now, they'll probably send an army out of there to go and attack me here, but I'm hoping I'll be able to get back in time to deal with it, if we're lucky. If not, then the garrison units here will have to try and deal with it themselves, and hopefully they'll be alright. I don't think the garrison there's too bad. I forget how to find out. Dark Omen, yes. Okay, nothing else to do really for now other than just... Oh, and also our food is going down because we have nothing that's actually producing food right now, which is important. We need food because we need it to feed the Skaven. That's one of their big resources. Most factions have a similar sort of thing. The vampires have dark magic, for example. The orcs have sort of this war energy thing. We also have gold itself, but we also have food. Well, they've done a great job in these games of making all the factions feel very unique from one another. As compared to previous Total War games where it's all a bit copy-paste with a lot of the factions, unfortunately. I'm looking at you, Shogun Total War. But yeah, so for food's a thing we need to worry about. We can get more food by winning battles, by taking settlements, and eventually if we can capture this place, because it's got pastures, we can actually start producing food. So, now one thing we do need to be aware of, though, is when we do take the settlement, it will start costing us more food to maintain the settlement. So, strategically, I would like to take this place because that way we don't have a bunch of lizard men hanging around in our backyard, so to speak, as we expand up this way. However, in an ideal world, I'd rather take this place because it's got pastures, because that means food. But anyway, so... Probably be going for 25 minutes or so. Good grief.
The cold-blooded beasts of the Lustrian jungles draw near. Be wary of the lizard men, my lord. Their motives are often hard to fathom, but the ferocity of their warriors and the sharpness of their claws are in little doubt.
Thank you for that.
Eat, consume, toad things.
Yes, yes. Winds of Magic, oh yes. Magic's a thing in this game, which obviously has never been a thing in previous Total War games for what should be obvious reasons. But this is a battle apparently we will win very, very easily, judging by the balance of power bar there. So I could auto-resolve it without any problems, but I'm not going to, because where's the fun in that? So we're just going to go ahead and jump in.
kill slave. Fight.
I have a lot of good things to say about these games. I was very... When they started... When Creative Assembly originally announced that they were going to do Total War Warhammer, I was very skeptical. I was like, look, guys, I'm into your games because I like the history. I'm not sure how interested I am in a fantasy game, really. Like, seriously, I'm not that interested at all. And I was very vocally cynical about the whole thing. But after I eventually picked up the first Total Warhammer on a sale last year... Was it last year or was it just earlier this year? It might have been earlier this year. And I actually played it. I realised that actually they've done a pretty bloody good job on this. And I really don't like it because it's brought back a lot of the things I loved about the old Total War games, as in Rome Total War, Medieval 2. It's brought back a lot of the things I really loved about those, especially Rome, actually. That was really missing from the latest batch of Total War games that have come out recently, to be honest. Not to mention they've optimized this quite well for PC systems and stuff, which their last few games have been appallingly bad for. Like, the last few games they've released have just been garbage. Just run like... Even now, Attila Total War barely runs properly on this computer. It's just not good. But anyway, so that's our Winds of Magic. Basically, this is the amount of magic power we have to use on spells in the match. And we can gamble, and hopefully we'll get more magic. No, it's just gone down, so we've actually... Gambling never pays, it says. That's the first time that's ever happened to me, to be honest with you. Normally it works, and you get more magic to play with. But never mind. That's a bit of a shame, because Skrulk is a wizard, as it says there. He does love his spells. All of a very sort of pestilent, plague-themed nature. They're good fun, but never mind. So let's see if we can arrange this in a way that makes sense. Let's have the clan rats, along with the clan rat spears, out in front. They're the meat shield. And the plague monks sensor bearers sort of behind them as the shock infantry that can charge in. In fact, to be honest with you, they should probably be at the front because they do get a big charge bonus, these guys, so they should be doing the charging, and these guys should actually be plugging the gaps, if we're being honest, if we're being sensible. And then we can have the slingers at the back, doing their slingery thing. We'll have Skrulk up in the middle there so he can get stuck in and have fun. And we'll have the Plague Claw catapults, honestly, as far back as we can get them, just to avoid the enemy being able to reach them. The longer I can keep the enemy away from these catapults so they can keep firing, the more likely we are to win, frankly, because that's what Skaven are about, really. You just clog up the lines with bajillions of rats, and then you just blow them to bits with your ranged units, generally speaking. That seems to be the way they play quite well.
Hungry for battle and...
So you use all your magic and your catapults and things like that to do a lot of the damage. Unless you can make them rout, which is probably what will happen here, but... Yes. The problem with Skaven is they have very, very terrible, I mean, really, really awful morale. So they like to run away a lot, unfortunately. So, yeah, this looks good to me. It's quite funny, really, having the Plague Monks as being kind of my shock infantry, because to be honest with you, in the tabletop game, Plague Monks are your cannon fodder. They're not shock infantry at all, really. They're the completely expendable dudes that you have in the dozens. They don't even have an armor save in the tabletop game. They're that bad. So we're going to run you guys up here again because I want to create as much distance between the enemy and my catapults as possible. And you'll see me pause a lot in this game, to be honest with you, just because of the magic system. I need to be able to pause and actually examine which spell I need to cast at a given time quite often, especially if you've got multiple wizards, which we don't at the minute, but we'll definitely have in the future because Plague Priests are very good for Clan Pestilence. So I think we'll go with Pestilent Breath. And this kind of, as you can see here, it goes down in a sort of almost flamethrower-like pattern. And we'll place it about there, and it should just... Well, you'll see the carnage in a second. Watch this. Splat! Beautiful. I didn't manage to get a charge off of them, which makes me sad, but never mind. Right. Get stuck in, boys. It's a nice debuff we can put on there, and we can summon some clan rats out of the ground. Because that's what Skaven do, they burrow out of the ground. Isn't it awesome? That's a neat, novel way to flank people, I have to say. Catapults are doing their thing. Splat. And the enemy's pretty much all just running away at this point, which is grand. Except for these guys, anyway. They are... Now they're running away. Good. Alright. Well done, Skrulk. Could head them off at the pass here, actually, a little bit. If we do this. Hello, boys! Trying to run away, are you? Trust me, we're better at running away than you are. You won't win. So this whole thing where I can summon units out of the ground, for example, is a great example of new things that they've added to this game which really shake up the old Total War formula, which, in my honest opinion, was getting a bit stale after all these years. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, now they're running. Oh, these are the sense bearers, yeah, you poor little skinks. You did not stand a chance. Look at them go! It's like they're skipping along, they're so cheerful. Skaven aren't cheerful. Nurgle are cheerful, but Skaven aren't. You might be forgiven for thinking, actually, if you're only vaguely familiar with Warhammer in general, you might be forgiven for thinking that Clan Pestilens are followers of Nurgle, who's the plague god, chaos in the Warhammer universe. However, well, hello. However, they don't actually. They follow the Great Horned Rat, who is their god, and one of his aspects is the Corruptor. So, Skaven follow their own plague god, which is appropriate, really. I mean, they're rats at the end of the day, so. You get him, Skrulk. You know, they're rat. That's what I like about Pestilence, personally. I think it's, if you're going to go down the medieval fantasy ratmen route, you might as well go full bubonic Black Death plague mode, honestly. Although I admittedly like the Scryer guys with all their crazy inventions and rattling guns and warp lightning cannons and stuff like that. Those are also pretty hilarious. Pestilence are still probably my favourites. Get him, Skrulk! We're going to kill him? It won't matter, it's a siege battle, so the guy's going to die anyway, but I just want to see Skrulk smash his face in! I love this, he's just chasing him along, cackling maniacally. It's brilliant. How about we, I was hoping that would knock him over, but I guess not. Get him, Skrulk! You can do it, mate! You know he can't. This guy's still on half health. Hero units in Warhammer, in Total Warhammer, they're quite durable, as you can see. They can put up with a lot of punishment. I could click end battle right now, but I'm not going to because this is too funny. Indeed. Oh, guys, I love this game. I love this game. It's so good. Just Skrulk chasing the lizard man off into the sunset is brilliant. It's beautiful. It's so good. It's made me actually genuinely enjoy Total War games again, which, as I said, definitely exceeded all my expectations, because I didn't think that a fantasy Total War game would be able to do that for me, and yet it has. Beautiful. We'll occupy the settlement at level 1. We could do it at level 2, which would cost more food. However, if we were to well, we could do it at level 3 if we really wanted to. However, I believe that would give us an even greater settlement upkeep. Although, actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it might just be -1 per settlement, because our other settlement over there is a level 2 settlement, and it's only costing me -1 food. So actually, it will cost us more food straight out of the box, so to speak. As you can see, food costs 20. It goes down. However, we could probably get away with occupying that at level 2, and it'd be fine. We could also sack it or raise it if we wanted to.
Sack steer.
Yes. Which would be, you know, other options. That we'd basically rob the city and run away with a bunch of wealth, which would be okay. And with this one, we'd actually burn it down and turn it into a ruin to be colonized later. But we're going to occupy for now.
Capture nest. Take.
What's this? Follower gained engineering student.
Not that color shade. No. Scratch the grime away.
Armor +5 for Warp Fire Thrower, Poison Wind Globadiers, and Death Glow Bombardiers units in your army. That's not very useful because we have none of those and won't be having any of those for quite some time, unfortunately, but never mind. And yes, mission successful, so that's nice. We got some Warpstone as well, which we need for our rituals up here, you see. Very important those are. And follow again. Reptile Thing Sacrifice. The great horned rat hunger must be appeased, and the ancient enemy make the most satisfying meals. Weapon strength plus 10% when fighting against lizard men. Oh, that is useful. And a scribe. The deeds of the mighty clans recorded for posterity and handy reference give direction and purpose to in their future endeavors. Campaign movement range plus 8%, and recruitment cost for Skrolk is -10%. Nice.
Reptile prisoners say the lizards retake old jungles. On the lookout for ancient artifacts. Yes. Plan a ritual, they do. Same as Skaven. Sotex things must not succeed. A plague be upon them.
Indeed. Jungle Fever. Maintain control of one province either by direct ownership, through vassals and military alliance, or through vassals and military alliance.
Mighty and pestilent Lord Stroke, Gracia Volstreak entreats that your clan pestilence forces move to take the whole of this province. Let all the things know that clan pestilence stalks upon Lustria again.
Learn more about provinces here, so on and so forth. Very good. And they've also got this place as well, so I'll need to go do something about that too. Unfortunately.
Where shadow horned rat.
So let's build here another Taskmaster's platform, because as I said, public order is super important. And we'll also build, I don't know, a hidden lair maybe? Advanced military is what we really want once we get to level 3 in one of our cities. Because then we can build a pox cauldron, and then that'll allow us to recruit plague monks, which we want lots of. I intend to spam plague monks like there's no tomorrow. What else could we get? Rattling warrens. That would improve growth, so let's get that. We want more growth because we want our cities to be bigger. So we'll do that for now, because we can recruit units up there. We don't need another recruiting building here necessarily. So that's not a problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, thank you very much for watching. It's been about 40 minutes. And that's it for this video. I'm going to go get this recorded and edited and uploaded and rendered and all that good stuff. Hopefully in time to start prepping for tonight's stream. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, because I enjoyed it. It's hard for me not to enjoy anything involving Skaven, to be honest with you. But if you would like to see more, as I said twice already earlier, let me know in the comments if you want to see me continue this campaign. Otherwise, whatever. Never mind. It was not to be, apparently. But yes, I hope you do want me to continue it, because I kind of want to continue it, actually. I'm having fun. Ooh, big volcano. Hello. Right, anyway. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And I'll catch you next time. Whatever that will happen to be. That would be Skyrim tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that too. I'm going to try and get that recorded tomorrow morning. Yes. Very good. And if you fancy joining me tonight, I'm going to be streaming Battlefleet Gothic Armada again. And if I can get it ready in time, which I should hopefully be able to do, depends on what my download speed's like today, we'll be beginning a new Dragon Age Origins playthrough on Twitch. The VODs for both of those games will be up later during the week on the YouTube channel here, in case you do miss the stream, you can't watch it for whatever reason, or you simply prefer not to. The video recordings of those streams will be up on the channel, so you'll get to watch it later anyway. But if you'd like to be there live, please do drop by. 8 PM UK time. You'll have to work out what time zone that is near you. I believe it's 3 PM Pacific time, because someone told me that the other day. So if you're on the west coast of America, it's 3 PM for you. For those of you in the UK, it's 8 PM, and for everyone else in between, I don't know. I don't know time zones, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's it. I'll stop blabbering before Skrulk tells me off again, and I'll catch you next time, folks. Toodaloo!